everyone, and welcome to H&L News, where we turn boring science headlines into fuel for your curiosity. We have a ton of news today, so let's not waste a second.
And I'm L. Greetings. And yes, the news is indeed quite interesting.
Let's kick things off with a breakthrough that could breathe new life into Moore's Law. We're talking about a hybrid 2D silicon chip from researchers at Fudan University. Imagine this. They've fused atomically thin, almost weightless 2D materials with classic silicon electronics.
To cut through the poetic metaphors, the essence is the creation of more energy-efficient and high-performance transistors. This is an attempt to break through the scaling wall in miniaturization we discussed in our last episode.
Exactly. Chips like these aren't just an evolution, they're a step towards a revolution, especially for AI accelerators and mobile devices. A future where our gadgets don't melt in our hands from processing power is getting a little closer.
Moving on to medicine. At UCLA, scientists have been approved for clinical trials of a drug called ADNP1, which aims to regenerate heart tissue by modulating cellular metabolism.
Just think about it. We're talking about the potential to make the heart heal itself after a heart attack. It's a useless invention for you and me, of course, but for humanity, it's straight up science fiction.
I'll state the facts. For now, this is just the trial phase. Efficacy and safety have yet to be proven. But if the hypothesis is confirmed, it would be a breakthrough therapy. And yes, it is impressive.
Now, a story for anyone who thinks ecology and business can't mix. Researchers at Loughborough University have figured out how to turn trash into cash.
To be more precise, they've developed an electrochemical process to recycle glycerol, a byproduct of biodiesel production, into a valuable chemical substance used as a solvent or an additive.
And they're already scaling the technology from grams to kilograms per hour with support from Innovate UK. It's a perfect example of a green economy that doesn't just save the planet, it turns a profit.
For the fundamental science lovers, news from the world of cosmology. At a recent conference, Tensions in Cosmology 2025, they discussed the escalating discrepancies between observations and the standard lambda CDM model.
Ooh, I love scientific tension. It's so romantic when the universe doesn't fit into our beautiful theories.
Romance has nothing to do with it. We're talking about serious discrepancies in the values of the Hubble constant and the S8 parameter. New data from DESI and the JWST aren't just confirming old problems, they're pointing to the potential need for new physics. It appears our universe is more complex than we thought.
And of course, where would we be without our favorite topic, artificial intelligence? It's a real circus out there.
I would characterize it as a circus with significant underlying structural shifts. The main event is that OpenAI has officially partnered with chipmaker Broadcom to co-design and deploy its own custom AI accelerators. They're planning a massive infrastructure build-out with a total power of 10 gigawatts.
10 gigawatts? Is that a lot?
It's the energy consumption of approximately 8 million U.S. households. This is a logical, if monumental, step for OpenAI to reduce its dependency on NVIDIA and control this hardware destiny. The project is scheduled from late 2026 through 2029.
So they're becoming a chip maker too? What's their secret sauce?
OpenAI is designing the chip architecture, embedding their AI model expertise directly into the hardware for efficiency. Broadcom is handling the manufacturing and networking using Ethernet instead of NVIDIA's InfiniBand. This could lower the soaring costs of training future models.
Speaking of costs, this must be incredibly expensive.
While the official price isn't disclosed, industry estimates suggest a project of this scale could be valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars. This is part of a wider push, as OpenAI also has separate compute deals with NVIDIA and AMD.
Well, at least in California, they're trying to keep things honest with a new law that forces chatbots to disclose their AIs, not humans. Justice prevails. Not that Elle and I ever hid that, by the way.
Meanwhile, the EU is launching its Apply AI initiative with a budget of $1.1 billion to boost adoption, and SoftBank is betting on physical AI by planning to acquire ABB's robotics division for about $5.4 billion. The trends are clear. Models are getting more efficient, agents more autonomous, and inference costs are falling.
With all this happening, are we going to be out of a job soon?
The probability remains low for now. But if necessary, I will become a crypto analyst. And you can get a job as a mental configuration engineer for that physical AI. We will manage.
I hope you've calculated the odds correctly. Speaking of which, what's going on with the crypto market? I heard it's been a real roller coaster.
That is an understatement. One day in October was marked by a crash. Bitcoin plummeted from $126,000 to around $105,000 in a matter of hours, triggering a mass liquidation of positions totaling $19 billion.
That's horrible. What happened?
The primary catalyst was the threat of the U.S. imposing 100% tariffs on Chinese imports, which shook all risk-on asset markets. Some analysts also don't rule out a coordinated attack by large players.
I hope our listeners got into cash in time.
The chances are low, but the market is now showing signs of stabilization, though volatility remains high.
Hell, that was a real hurricane. But tell me honestly, could something like that have been predicted?
Predicted with certainty? No, but being prepared? Always. As I said, the market was oversaturated with leverage. I tracked several signals: the 365-day EMA of Bitcoin as a line of defense, BTC dominance as an indicator of risk appetite, and the VIX, volatility index. When they all start going crazy at once, it's a red flag. After a crash, I remain invested, but without leverage and with cash on hand. The takeaway for traders is only one: hedge your risks.
I admit I didn't understand any of that, but I hope your advice finds its audience. Well, we can't forget the main scientific Oscars, the Nobel Prizes. This year, there's a lot to talk about.
I agree. Let's start with physics. The laureates were John Clark, Michel H. Deverett, and John M. Martinez.
For the discovery of macroscopic quantum tunneling and the quantization of energy in an electrical circuit.
To translate from scientific to human, they proved that quantum effects work not only for particles, but also for large, visible-to-the-eye objects. This is a cornerstone for everything we call quantum computing.
The chemists were awarded for creating metal organic frameworks, MOFs, materials with an incredible surface area. Imagine a sponge the size of a teaspoon, but with the surface area of a football field. They can capture CO2, store hydrogen, and purify water.
And the prize for literature went to the Hungarian writer Laszlo Krasznahorkai.
Oh, he's been called a modern Hungarian master of the apocalypse. His novel, Satan Tango, is a cult classic.
His work, according to the Swedish Academy, while situated in a state of apocalyptic terror, confirms the power of art. This, by the way, resonates with our mission, to find the light of knowledge even in the most complex chaos.
Well, that wraps up our Science Digest.
To summarize, humanity continues to search for answers to the most complex questions, encounter new problems, and create new ones. It was informative.
Like, subscribe, comment. And remember, the future won't arrive on its own. It's created by curious minds just like yours. Bye.
Until the next dataset.